Right now, on to the point. A hospice project for the unhoused delayed.
It just took longer than we anticipated.
Why it's taking years to build this site, causing community concern.
Heavy downpours moving through tonight, the timing and how much rain we could see in the valley and snow in the Sierra.
Plus, the countdown to the election. Tonight, both presidential campaigns vying for undecided voters. And later on the back roads, a must-see migration. We head out to Lodi to see sandhill cranes flock to the Sacramento Valley.
Good evening. Thank you so much for ending your week with us here on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. We start tonight, of course, tracking rain and snow moving into Northern California. Let's bring in meteorologist Carly Gomez. She's joining us now, tracking the timing of it all.
Yeah, our weather impact alert still for tonight into tomorrow morning as that storm is arriving soon. We're already seeing it for Yuba City and Marysville, but Sacramento area should be getting it within the next hour or so. Heavy rain and snow is expected. Now, we're looking at this significant valley rain to bring up as much as about a 1/10 to a 1/4 inch in the San Joaquin Valley. The Sacramento Valley could see as much as a 1/2 inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch. And then those higher foothill spots could even get as much as an inch of rain. Now, the Sierra is expecting snow as well as some icy roads, so please be careful out there. 11 a.m. That is when the winter weather advisory comes to an end. Most of the snowfall should be pretty much done by the mid-morning hours, maybe a few spots left over. But let's track and time this out for you. 9 p.m. we're looking at a band of showers pushing through from Grass Valley, Auburn, Placerville into Sacramento. Heavy downpours expected for Friday night football. Please be safe driving. And we'll continue to see that pushing through the San Joaquin Valley into the foothills later on this evening. By 2 a.m. though, looking at heavy snowfall as well for the Sierra. We'll talk more about how much snow is headed our way coming up.
Thanks, Carly. A planned hospice for the unhoused community has been in the works for years now. ABC 10 first brought you this story of Joshua's house back in 2017. Its founder's personal mission is to give terminally ill people living on the street a safe and dignified place to die. In our reporting, nobody has objected to the idea, but some vocal opponents, including a school district, have objected to the location, which is across from an elementary school. They also criticize what they say is a years-long lack of communication. So last week, Sacramento County supervisors approved a grant of more than $1 million to complete construction of Joshua's house, now set to open in the spring and serve 15 people at a time. ABC 10's Becca Hobbecker asked why this project has taken so long, and she also asked about community concerns.
I would just like to say, if I can say this without crying, this has been my mission and vision since I retired.
That's Marlene Fitzwater speaking at the October 22nd meeting of the Sacramento County Board of Supervisors.
I lost a grandson who died on the streets in Omaha, Nebraska.
The death of her grandson, Joshua, started Fitzwater's mission to build an end-of-life hospice care facility specifically for people experiencing homelessness.
This is a very good thing that we do today and something we should all be proud of.
County supervisors voted unanimously to grant more than $1.1 million for the completion of Joshua's house, now set to be fully operational this coming spring. The site has been under construction for about a year, and as of November 1st, looks like this. I asked Fitzwater about the timeline.
It takes an extraordinarily long time to get all the permits, and so it's a very lengthy process to even start work. And then because there were issues getting the soil in the necessary grade that it needs to be, things like that, it just took longer than we anticipated.
The site is directly across the street from Garden Valley Elementary School in Sacramento's South Natomas neighborhood.
We don't know what their efforts are to ensure the safety of our youngest learners.
Rebecca Sandoval is a trustee on the Twin Rivers Unified School Board. For 3 years now, she has regularly voiced concerns at Sacramento City Council meetings about the hospice's location and what she considers a lack of answers about safety concerns.
We are concerned about the amount of drugs that will be left there because they are at the end of their life, fentanyl, morphine, ketamine. Are they going to be vetting for sexual offenders right across from our school? How are the bodies going to be transported? Are you going to have safety measures in place and security so that does not fall on Twin Rivers Police Department to patrol that area? What kind of offense are they going to have?
A good neighbor policy from Joshua's house says the site will be monitored 24/7 with surveillance video and security. It will be enclosed with an 8-foot wrought iron fence.
You know, it's going to be fenced, gated, private. You can't come in without the code to come in.
She says professional hospice staff will secure and administer the drugs. YOLO Cares, the organization that will run Joshua's house, says they will not be screening patients for sex offenders, just as hospitals don't do background checks on patients, and that in their experience, the average hospice stay for a terminally ill, unhoused person is 7 to 12 days.
Now, Becca Habegger has been following this for us, and she joins us right now with more information on how people can volunteer if they want to.
Yeah, you know, Alex, I spoke with the CEO of YOLO Cares. That's the Joint Commission Medicare Certified Hospice Organization that will run and own Joshua's house once construction is complete. You know, he says he has overseen the construction and operation of 5 other residential hospices in his career, and in each case, the project faced opposition, and in each case, once they opened, they proved to be good neighbors. At Joshua's house, he says there will be professional staff on site 24/7, but there are also volunteers. And, you know, he encourages anyone who wants to help or learn more to take the free hospice training YOLO Cares offers. People will then be able to volunteer at Joshua's house once that opens.
Becca, thanks for following this. And you know we will continue to follow this for you and bring you updates as we get them. Tonight, an investigation is underway after a building caught on fire in South Sacramento this morning, and it happened just after 5 a.m. at an insurance business on Valley High Drive near Mack Road. Firefighters tell us the fire started at the back of the building and then spread into the attic and the roof. Fire crews were able to put it out very quickly. California Department of Fish and Wildlife says an invasive species called golden mussel has been found in the Bay Delta near Stockton. They tell us this is the first time the species has been detected in North America. Crews say they are working to manage the population and stop the spread to other waterways. Today, tens of thousands of people took to the streets of Los Angeles, look at your screen, to celebrate the Dodgers World Series win. The celebration kicked off near Grand Park and made its way through the streets of downtown. The Dodgers, the players, they headed to Dodger Stadium for a ticketed event with the fans. This is the 8th time that the Dodgers have won a World Series championship and their first parade since 1988. Man, to say people are excited would be an understatement. All right, turning now to your voice, your vote. With just 4 days to go until Election Day, the Election Lab reports more than 68 million Americans have already cast their ballots. Today, both campaigns are vying for last-minute and undecided voters in the battleground state of Wisconsin.
Today, Vice President Harris is weighing in on former President Donald Trump's violent rhetoric used against his opponents.
Anyone who wants to be president of the United States who uses that kind of violent rhetoric is clearly disqualified and unqualified to be president.
This is what Trump said while campaigning Thursday about former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who has endorsed Harris.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington.
Cheney responding by writing on social media, "This is how dictators destroy free nations. They threaten those who speak against them with death." Trump today says he was referring to her lack of military experience. Trump also has no military experience.
If she had to face the consequences of battle, she wouldn't be doing it. So it's easy for her to talk.
On the campaign trail, Trump and running mate J.D. Vance each courting voters in Michigan.
We have got just 4 days to go, 4 days to turn Michigan red and 4 days to make Donald J. Trump the next president of the United States, and we're going to do it.
Harris speaking with union workers in a town once home to the oldest General Motors plant in the country, Janesville, Wisconsin.
Oh, it's good to be in the House of Labor.
Tonight, both Harris and Trump rally in Milwaukee.
On the economy, Harris has pledged tax incentives for small businesses and first-time home buyers. Trump has vowed to one day create a new cabinet position focused on bringing costs down, though he didn't offer specifics. And don't forget, still ahead on To the Point, we're continuing to answer your voter questions. Tonight, we're looking into who pays for the information in your voter guide. Coming up on To the Point, the latest report on the economy, what it's signaling about the job market ahead of Election Day. And later on the back roads, we head out to Lodi to see the annual migration of cranes.
The young birds are born up north. They migrate down here with mom and dad. Migration is a learned behavior. It's not innate.
Meteorologist Carly Gomez with a look at our forecast. We do have a weather impact alert in effect. This is going all the way till tomorrow, right?
Right, through tomorrow morning, and we are looking at a winter weather advisory in effect until 11 a.m. for the Sierra. And we're looking at the big impacts here now through Saturday morning. Your impact is the icy roadways for the Sierra and those slick roads in the valley. Cold temperatures also expected. So not only are temperatures still only going to be in the mid-50s overnight, we've been used to the mid-40s, but it's the wind chill factor that's also impacting us. So the wind's picking up, making it feel colder. And if you're already getting wet out there, it's definitely going to feel colder. Your need is to dress for the cold temperatures and this rain and snow. Drive safe, please, out there, whether you're in the valley or in the Sierra. Our satellite radar showing the line of showers moving from Grass Valley to Yuba City, now just north here near the airport. We're currently looking at some of the showers starting to make their way into Sacramento now. Within the next 30 minutes, we should see them pushing along I-80 as we continue to see them pushing through tonight and for Friday night football. Rainfall totals could be anywhere from 1/10 to 1/2 inch through our valley spots, and into our foothills could get as much as 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch of rain. Snowfall totals, now they are starting to back off on how much we could get, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches at the passes, but at those peaks and summits, we could get anywhere from 8 to 10 inches of snowfall. So we're waiting to see exactly where this comes in and how heavy the showers are when they reach the Sierra. Our futurecast winds, so as I mentioned, we're getting the wind chill factor here that's making it feel colder, but as soon as the rain passes on through, we're still getting this very strong wind gusts coming in from the north-northwest, 25 to 35 miles per hour, with as high as about 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts into the coastal range. So Sunday may look beautiful and sunny, but the winds may catch you off guard. And we are going to expect to see that into the early morning hours of our Monday. Daylight saving ends. Turn your clocks back on Sunday at 2 a.m. Test your smoke alarms. Good time to do so. Extra hours of sleep, and that sunsets an hour earlier. Now temperatures will be in those upper 60s to low 70s through next week.
Next, on to the point, answering your questions ahead of election night. Tonight, we're getting answers about who pays for that candidate information in your voter guide. Plus, the latest report on the economy before the election, what it's signaling about jobs, and when the Fed could make a move. ABC 10 is always working to connect you with the information that you need to vote in this upcoming election. Our team is taking your questions and getting you answers. Here's reporter Brandon Ritteman.
In California, candidates are allowed to write short blurbs about themselves to go in the official state and local voter guides you get in the mail. Patty in Escalon heard of a controversy about those in another state, and she asked us, does the candidate have to pay a fee to have their information added to the voter pamphlet and the ballot? Patty, thank you so much for asking. I have covered politics a long time, and I learned new things working on your question. Turns out, in California, the state and county governments do charge candidates a fee to have their statements printed in the official voter guides. The fees help cover the cost of printing and mailing these guides out to millions of voters, and the cost can vary wildly, depending on the race that's up for election and where in California it is. For a lot of candidates, we're only talking a few $100 to get their statement into the guide, but the fees go up from there. Candidates in a couple of congressional races, they have to pay almost $30,000 to have a few paragraphs printed in San Bernardino's county voter guide, according to the Secretary of State. Some candidates simply choose not to pay. That keeps them out of the blurbs in the guide, but not off of your ballot, Patty. The rules for getting on the ballot are different depending on which office you run for. For most big races, you've got the option to pay a filing fee that comes into about $1,000 to $4,000, or you can turn in a few thousand signatures from voters on a petition instead of having to pay that fee. Thanks so much for enlightening me and all of us, Patty. Happy voting.
Yeah, I gotta say, you guys have had some amazing questions. Keep them coming. If you have questions of your own, you can send them to us right now. Just head over to abc10.com/vote. There is our survey. You can tell us what else you want to know about voting and the election. All right, let's get into your price points and the economy. The Labor Department is out with its final economic report before the election, where many voters, of course, are concerned about the health of the economy. According to the Labor Department, the U.S. added just 12,000 jobs last month, which is a sharp drop from the unexpectedly strong 223,000 jobs that were added in September. The report confirming what many economists had warned. ABC's business correspondent Alexis Christoforous explains.
The month of October saw two hurricanes, Helene and Milton. We also had the Boeing strike. That skewed this number in a big way. We saw jobs added in healthcare, but manufacturing jobs lost more than 40,000 jobs there, mostly because of that strike at Boeing.
Now, despite the jobs added, the report also found the unemployment rate stayed the same at about 4.1%. Today's job report is the last major economic report before the Feds meet on November 6th to discuss a possible rate cut. Now on to the Feds. The IRS has announced an increase in the amount individuals can contribute to their 401k plans. In 2025, you can contribute $23,500, up from $23,000 in 2024. Contribution limits for IRA accounts will remain the same at $7,000, and the IRA catch-up contribution limit for people 50 and over remains $1,000 for the year of 2025. It's Friday, which means it's time for another trip on the back roads. This week, John Bartel takes us bird watching in Lodi to see the annual sandhill crane migration.
The Pacific Flyway. It's one of the 4 major bird migration routes in North America. And one of the frequent flyers on this avian superhighway is the sandhill crane.
This is it. This is it.
They're kind of noisy guys, aren't they?
Very noisy.
Every fall, a select group of these migratory birds leave the chill of Canada and Alaska to winter here in the Sacramento Valley.
The young birds are born up north. They migrate down here with mom and dad. Migration is a learned behavior. It's not innate.
Mimi Starr and Jane Adams are docents with the annual Lodi Sandhill Crane Festival, which offers 50 different tours to see these birds, one of which I signed up for.
Well, I can't emphasize enough for me how fortunate we are to have these birds here in California.
Sandhill cranes are some of the oldest birds known to man. Their fossils date back 9 million years ago, and so do some of their migration routes.
We expect tonight, if it's like it was last weekend, we should probably get about 1,000 that'll come into just this pond alone.
Despite their numbers, the sandhill crane is a skittish bird.
They're really far away.
During the day, the flock, or herd as they're technically called, separates and forages for food in either farmers' fields, creeks, or rivers. But right as the sun sets, the cranes gather together in a pond or marshland. And this is the best time to get a picture.
Let me show you. I'm looking for good light to where I can see the details of the feathers.
Doug Ridgway's been photographing sandhill cranes for years and takes a far better image than I can.
It must require a pretty good lens.
It helps.
Yeah.
Then again, a good lens may not help. Just ask longtime sandhill crane tour guide Howard Larimar.
Yep, they're wild animals. People sometimes come on these tours expecting that they'll see cranes, and they may or may not, because they're wild animals.
Well, if that happens, I guess you can do what Jill Coffins and Randy Baxter do. Grab a glass of wine and just listen to the cranes.
I think even with us in the foreground, you can hear the birds in the background, and that's half the experience, is just hearing the sound. The sound gets really big.
From the Sandhill Crane Festival, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
Still ahead on To the Point, a look at some of the events that are happening across Northern California this weekend. Before we go, there are several cultural holiday events happening this weekend. Happening right now in Yuba City is the largest Sikh gathering outside of India, and everyone is invited. The big event kicks off tonight at 8 with fireworks at the Sikh Temple of Yuba City. More events will be held on Saturday, and then on Sunday, the parade starts around 11 a.m. from the Sikh Temple on Tierra Buena Road and will continue throughout the city. Today is also the second day of Diwali. The Hindu festival symbolizes the victory of light over darkness. Setting off firecrackers is a cherished tradition, along with other unique customs that vary depending on what region you are in. The celebration is happening in Mather tomorrow. And it's also Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. It is celebrated each year on November 1st and 2nd. It honors the spirit of those who are dead and who are believed to return home during this time to visit their relatives. The tradition consists of building altars for the souls of the departed, and several of our local Hispanic businesses will be selling items like pan de muerto and marigolds to celebrate this holiday. And if you want to see more details about all of these events, head over to our website, abc10.com. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. And don't forget, To the Point does not end here. You can always stream us wherever you get your streaming from. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention Bay Sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. What's super exciting, I know you care about high school sports. You'll never find a more comprehensive guide and team dedicated to high school sports. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.